guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be doing a long-lasting everyday makeup tutorial. So I have already done my eyebrows and my eyes off camera, but I will let you know the products I use because this is mainly going to be focused on kind of the skin and what products I think are the best to keep your makeup, your face makeup on all day. These are personally just the products that I find work for me. If you don't like some of these products, that's absolutely fine. Just like carry on using whatever works for you. But also these products just help kind of my specific skin type. So if you are the complete opposite skin type to me, then these products probably aren't going to work for you, but some of them still will. Anyway, let's just get straight into the video. So as always, be sure to give the video a thumbs up. Just keep watching. Okay, so before I get into the skin, obviously I've already done my eyes and my eyebrows off camera just to save some time, but I will tell you what I used for them. So for the eyebrows, I used the Anastasia Brow Definer, and then I just went over top with some clear brow gel. I used the e.l.f. one. It's really affordable, it does the trick, it just kind of sticks your hairs up, and I feel like it does help the eyebrows kind of stay in place. Obviously my eyebrows are quite full anyway, but if you don't have as full eyebrows, then I think using a brow gel does really help. MAC Soft Ochre Paint Pot for that, but any really good primer that you're used to using will be really good. Another really good one that I feel like nobody talks about is this one here. It's by Milani and it's just their normal eyeshadow primer. It comes out this kind of like nude colour, and I feel like I don't use this enough, but it comes out like that. It's just like a nude shade, and then as soon as you blend it in it just goes clear. But what I like about this is that it's really sticky and tacky. If you blended it out on your eyelids, then it's a really good primer because it goes really tacky, so I feel like it does genuinely help to keep your eyeshadow on. The main kind of products for keeping your makeup lasting a really long time throughout the day for me personally is just using a really good face primer. I know not everyone uses face primers, some people just use a moisturizer and that's fine. Something that I've been using recently because it's starting to get a bit hot now, I've been using a SPF underneath my moisturizer, and then I'll add my moisturizer and then my primer. I do kind of layer up with everything like that, but you can just use an SPF like this one. I use the number 7 one, and it does go really tacky. I feel like that could even work as a primer for you as well. My favourite primer for just being quite tacky and just actually making my makeup last longer is the Emani one. I've used this quite a few times on my channel. I love this stuff. So I feel like you don't need a lot of it either. I feel like just kind of 2 pumps can kind of cover your whole face and you're good to go. And I think that also the main thing is just kind of concentrating most of the product where your foundation or your makeup on top doesn't stick or hold as well. So I always use kind of my T-zone area where I get oily because it's more likely to come off there if it's oily. And my cheek area here, and then kind of around my mouth area from like when I'm eating and drinking and stuff. Primer all done. Also, because the Emani one, I do think it's quite pricey. I think it's around the £20 mark. I've got an affordable option, maybe if you don't want to spend that much or you can't get hold of Emani. I know you can't get it in that many places, to be fair, but a really good drugstore kind of alternative for that. I don't think it's as good, but I do think it genuinely works, is the Soap & Glory Speed Plump Moisturiser. So this obviously is moisturiser, it's not actually a primer, but it does have glycerin in, and that really helps with the tackiness of primers. So I do find this to be a very good primer as well, and you can get it at Soap & Glory, Boots, Superdrug, wherever you can get Soap & Glory, so that is also a really good one. Then for foundation, I did want, because it's like an everyday makeup look, I didn't want anything too full coverage, because if I did then I'd probably go for the Jouer foundation because that is super full coverage and really long wearing. I do think that's a very good foundation, but I wanted one that's just kind of good for every day, and it's kind of getting to summer now, so I wanted something that was quite dewy as well. So I did pick the Milani 2-in-1 foundation and concealer. I think this is really good. It has got really good coverage. I'd say it's got medium coverage and you can build it to be full, and I really like this foundation. It's one of my favourites. The foundation obviously on. You can see it's obviously quite dewy. Obviously if you've got really oily skin, then just go for a very matte foundation. I think that's going to be the best obviously for your skin type, but I'm kind of combination, so I don't mind having a kind of luminous finish to my foundations. I do prefer it. I think it does look a lot more natural. Concealer, I'm going to take the Collection Lasting Perfection concealer. I feel like this is a very good concealer. It's super good and it's so affordable as well. What shade have I got in this? I've got warm medium. Really build this up to be full coverage, and I think it's really great. It does last a long time, obviously hence the name, but I feel like it does genuinely do that, and it still looks really great at the end of the day. And then to set all the concealer in place, I am just going to take my Vichy dermablend powder. I still can't stop using it. I just think it's a really great powder. The best way I find to kind of apply loose powders is to use like a small sponge. You can completely dampen it. I do that sometimes, but I'm just not at the moment. And I just kind of scoop the powder up. I usually just pour a bit in the lid, and then I really press it underneath the eyes. And this way I feel like it really does stop any creasing, and it just makes your concealer just last a lot longer than kind of just patting over with a brush. I know some people, maybe if you don't crease as much, you won't have to do this, and just kind of using a brush will be fine for you. If you are an oily person, then you would obviously set the whole of your face. I always leave out this area. I don't really do too much on my head, and I just kind of leave out this area as well. But one area that I do always tend to set, and I think helps with kind of the bronzer, is just applying a tiny bit of powder just where you are going to apply a bronzer or contour or whatever. I feel like it helps to apply the bronzer a lot more easier. I feel like it just blends a lot more kind of softer, and it just looks a lot more smooth and kind of natural on your skin, and it doesn't just kind of sit on top. But I'm going to keep it just quite in the hollows. I'm not going to apply it up here where I'm going to have my highlight, because you can leave that glowing. There's no problem with that. But for highlighter, I feel like I just looked in my collection and I have kept most of this fairly affordable, but the highlight isn't, because I don't know, this is just the most long lasting highlight that I own. It is the Amrezy highlight with Anastasia. So yeah, I'm sorry, I know it's an expensive highlight, but everything else is pretty much affordable, so I feel like this is okay. So I'm just going to apply just a small amount of this, because it is just kind of like a soft kind of everyday look. So I'm just going to apply a very small amount here on the nose, Cupid's bow. I also forgot to mention, if you want a kind of pressed face powder, like one that's got a bit of colour to it, like a powder foundation, then a very good one, but it's still very affordable, is the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Pressed Powder. It's one of my favourite pressed powders. It is very good, and it's literally like £3 or £4. Super good. It reminds me of the MAC mineralized skin finishes, I think they're called. It really reminds me of them, so that is a very good affordable option as well. Contour, I've been loving using this recently. Again, it's a bit expensive, but I've got another one to use as well, and that's affordable, so it kind of balances it out. Okay, so this is the Too Faced Chocolate Soleil bronzer. I've got the dark chocolate one here. The milk chocolate one I was going to get. Obviously this is quite deep. This is a very good contour shade, and that's why I got it. The normal kind of the milk chocolate one, I think it was called, which is, I guess, is for medium skin. That one, it just kind of looked like a normal bronzer that I could just buy anywhere, but I don't know what it is with this undertone. I just love it. I think it's great for contouring on my skin tone. I love it because it's not too cool, so it kind of bronzes a tiny bit, but it just gives a really nice contour, and I've just loved using this recently. So I'm going to take it on my NYX fan brush. I mean, look at that. Kind of bronze up the skin the tiniest bit, and I'm gonna use this to do my forehead with. So this you can kind of replace if you don't want anything too expensive. And that's the Milani Baked Bronzer. I love these bronzers. They are so good, and they are very long wearing as well. They've kind of got a nice kind of glow and sheen to them. If any of you have seen the Hourglass bronzers, they're so expensive. I swear they're like £42 for a bronzer. And yeah, this is a very good dupe for that as well. I did used to have an Hourglass one. I had like a tiny one. Didn't like it. It was too shimmery. This just leaves a nice sheen on your skin, and these I find are really great for summertime. So I'm not going to take too much, just a tiny bit. And then this is just going to kind of warm up that a little bit. Oh, I feel like blush is quite tricky because I personally feel like blush always comes off first. Like that's the first kind of makeup product that always comes off my face, and by the end of the day I can never really tell if I'm wearing any blush or not, depending on if it's a good one or not. But one that I do think lasts a very long time is Girlactik blushes. I don't use these too much, but I don't know why, because they are very good. But I'm going to use the shade Florence today, and they just last forever, and I think they're really, really good. And I'm only going to apply the tiniest bit because I'm not the biggest blush fan. Use any good setting spray that you're kind of used to using and you think is very good. I did recently say in a video, I can't remember which one, but a very good spray is the Urban Decay All Nighter spray, or an affordable option, the Milani Make It Last setting spray. That is amazing, it's so good. Now I was going to use my MAC Strip Down lip liner because that is very long wearing, but it is downstairs and I'm too lazy to go get it. So another one is the Urban Decay lip liner. I love their lip liners, they're amazing, they're my favourite. I'm going to use Naked too, this is my favourite one. And I was going to use Colourpop for the lipstick, but I feel like I always use Colourpop in like all of my videos. I do just genuinely love the brand, but I thought I'd use a different brand, and these are very long lasting as well, but it's the Kat Von D, don't know what they're called actually, lasting liquid lipsticks, and I've got the shade Bow and Arrow, and I think this is a very nice brownie nude. And that is the end of the video, guys, so thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this makeup tutorial. I hope it was kind of informative and it helped you out a little bit. If it didn't, then sorry. But anyway, thank you again so much for watching. Please remember to give the video a thumbs up and also subscribe if you aren't already, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye! These... Okay, so I feel like that could even work. Wait. Should have tied my hair back, I never learned.